Well, good evening. I'm glad that you're joining me tonight. I know you've got a lot that you've probably been paying attention to today. Lauren and I, we were up way too late last night, especially for having already been warned that we wouldn't know any of the results from the election last night anyhow. But if you've been glued to the television set today, I'm hoping that you will just take a breather and listen to an encouraging word. I wanted to take this time to do just that, to be an encouragement to you. So I'm taking a break from our Luke study. That was all about the end times, and you just don't need that right now. So, and I'm the kind of person, I'm pretty nonchalant on elections and politics, as much as a freedom-loving person can be, but I've still been thinking about this election pretty much nonstop for the last 24 hours. So I'm thinking, if this thing's bothering me, I know some of you guys are just going crazy. So you need this perhaps even more than I do, and especially if you're feeling kind of frustrated, irritated, or even deeply troubled by the divisions that you see around us or in our nation. Then you really need to take a moment to listen to this. I was looking forward to some encouragement. David Mathis did a short study on Psalm 27. I'm going to kind of follow some of his thoughts here too, and I believe this will be very encouraging to you today. Psalm 27 verse 4 says that one thing have I asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. I think especially when the cares of this world weigh us down, and when we start worrying and worrying way too much, we start pulling our hair out or losing our hair, we really need to take a break and remember and recall that our greatest endeavor, our greatest pursuit in life is the pursuit of God, for the joy of our heart, for the satisfaction of our souls. This is why we were created, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord, and to be with him, to know him. I was thinking all of things in our lives that are very good, and there's lots of good things in our day, lots of good things that we do. But many things that happen in our day can actually cause us to lose our appetite for the things that we really enjoy. I was thinking about looking forward to a great feast with family come Thanksgiving. Now, there are things that can happen. Even tonight, my wife probably has something cooking up in the kitchen for us. It's going to be really good. But there are things that can happen between now and then that can cause you to completely lose your appetite for something very, very good like that. And it may be a vacation with family, a romantic evening with your spouse. There are things that can happen that completely derail your heart in the pursuit of those things. That's just kind of the way it is. Now, one of the things that I'm seeing here in Psalm 27 is there is one thing, though, that cannot be derailed. That is, that there is something that should not or ought not ever be derailed. And that is pursuing the Lord, seeking the Lord, seeking his face, praying, worshiping, inquiring in his temple, reading the word, seeking his face. And I'm troubled because I know that a lot of times when things come up in our lives, when setbacks come, we get an emergency call or we get something going on in our day that's just pressing. Oftentimes that's the very last thing that we feel like doing. And think about the reasons why you don't go to church, right? Something comes, I'm just busy today. I got too much on my plate today, or something happened and I just don't feel like being with the children of God, with the people of God, and worshiping the God of salvation. Right? Well, how is that happen? Why would that be happening? Notice the context where David is writing the psalm. Look at verses 2 and 3. When evildoers assail me to eat up my flesh, my adversaries, my foes, it is they who stumble and fall. Though an army encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war rise against me, yet I will be confident. Now, the context of David saying, I want to go seek the Lord. This is a one thing I want to do is seek his face. He is not allowing his adversaries, his enemies, no doubt all of the things that he has going on, leading a nation with armies encamped around them. He says that this is the one thing that I do. This is the one thing I make sure that I do. Now it must be difficult. It must be difficult to think, maybe he has somebody saying you don't have time for that, or you can't do that right now. But in David's mind, this is the first thing that has to happen. This is the thing that has to be happen. And notice what he says throughout this psalm. When he says, I will be confident, there in the end of verse 4. This is how, or verse 3 rather, this is how he is able to face the problems in his day. This is how he is able to face the armies that encamp around him. This is how he deals with the pressures and the stresses, the distresses that come with leading a nation. As he says, this is the one thing that I have to do. This is what gives me the assurance to face my day. This is what gives me the confidence of knowing how the day will go and how to do this well. This is what we have to do as well. Now, this probably all sounds like a New Testament figure that you know very well, and that is the Apostle Paul, who has said something strikingly similar in Philippians chapter 1, verse 20. It is my eager expectation and hope that I will not at all be ashamed, but that with full courage, now as always, Christ will be honored in my body, whether by life or death. For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. If I am to live in the flesh, that means fruitful labor for me. Yet, which I shall choose, I cannot tell. I am hard pressed between the two. My desire is to depart and be with Christ, because that is far better. Far better. It may have been a long time. It may have been a long time today that you have thought that spending time with Christ in prayer and singing through a hymn book or reading the scriptures or praying, it may have been a long time since you have thought that would be far better than anything else that I can think to do right now. But for David, it was his one thing. For Paul, he said, there is nothing else. I'm hard pressed between two about what God would have me do, but I know for sure this is the one thing that I would choose. I would choose to be with Christ. This is how getting alone before the Lord, being with the Lord, seeking his face, this is how everything else in our life finds its right place. And if you feel like things are just kind of scattered and things are not in its right place, maybe your heart is unsettled or troubled today, this is your encouragement. Seek the Lord. Make him your one thing. This is how David says, I know my path. I know my way, because I've looked upon the Lord. He says at the end of Psalm 27, I believe I shall look upon the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. I will wait for the Lord. I will be strong. I will let my heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. This is how you face everything else in your life, by first carving out time to be with the Lord. Seek the Lord. Wait for the Lord. God bless you.